So, hey, hi guys. Hi to all the single mothers, hi to all the single dad, hi to all the grandparents. Bless up, bless up. So, we're going to talk about today friends or family. Life is very strange because generally you'd always think that your family blood come first, blood thicker than water. Hey, not at all. I always say watch your friends, but watch your family even more. Because let me tell you something. Because they are least expected, they can be the deadliest. I have realized a lot in this life, and I've learned a lot in this life that most times the people that are the closest to you are the ones that will hurt you the worst. And sometimes they come in the form of really good friends, best friends, and don't forget your family. I think can be the worst. In my experience, I've realized that family is not meant to be there for you. At least most families, or too much families, are not really meant to be there for you when you need them, but they want to be there for you when it's beneficial to them. I have seen families where the ones that have a bit more than the others more stick together, and the ones that less fortunate, they more stick together. When in a family, you can't choose who your family are. There'll be a mixture of what your family is like. If it's family, we're supposed to be like family, live like family, and be there for each other like family. No, 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 no. It don't really work like that, especially in Jamaican family life. They will be the first one to tear you down. The first one to come with their little hater remarks on the guise of, oh, they are saying something good. But if you're smart, you know what's going on. I grew up with my grandmother, and I remember when my grandmother died. I remember when my grandaunt and uncle came there fighting over who get the bank book, fighting over, oh, because she was a returning resident from England. She had a lot of stuff, China wares, and all them big draping, every sheet and spread for the bed and all those kind of, them first time trunk. I don't know if anybody remember what trunk is. For the one in my age group, you know what trunk. Probably the younger ones might not know what trunk, but it is like a box that you put stuff in, but it's more metallic, and it is used more for storage, like sheets and spread and pillows, and probably anything can be stored in it that you have for household purpose. I see my family come to the house creeping out everything, fighting over everything. I was just a child then, and one of my grand aunt took the bank book and kept it, and went and got the death certificate fast and furious, went and empty out the account. By the time my grandfather to reach here, and my mom and uncle, which is the only two children from our grandparents, by the time them to get here to realize what is going on, they basically emptied, take all they could take out of the house, and the bank book was empty. The funny thing about that is that no one ever stopped to think, what about the children? Because she have two children, and I was the grandchild that was growing into her. Nobody never cared to say, okay, make sure that secure her in terms of making sure she is okay. No one did that, because by the time everybody to come from abroad, they did their dirt and gone about them business and so on, and everybody start acting innocent. Nobody seem to know nothing. Everything that is being asked for and that is missing, nobody seem to know anything. Hey, and it didn't stop there. Anyway, after the burial of my grandmother, and it was so much disappointment. Everybody scraping, everybody trying to take something from everybody who come from abroad. And so, and I remember I was told that I was going to have to live with my granduncle and his wife. However, she had no children, and God know why he did that. However, I had to go and live with her. So the same day that my grandfather went back abroad and my mom and uncle went back, I was going to go live with the granduncle. And I remember that Saturday morning so very clearly. I remember I went there the morning, and these are people that have things, and it would be my grandmother, brother, which would be my granduncle and his wife. And I remember the first time I went there that morning, and I got fried egg, bacon, sausage, toast bread, Milo tea. I remember it so clearly that I started to think, wow, this is a continuation from how my grandmother used to spoil me. Because my grandmother always raised her fowl in the yard, saying a short of getting all two fried egg, boiled egg, bacon, this, your grapefruit, you eat so much things. I mean, I used to always have little boils because I was eating so much egg and bacon and sausage. She just like really spoiled me. So when I went there, I was thinking to myself, wow, so this is going to be a continuation of what grandma was. So, feeling that everything would be okay. That is the first day. And notwithstanding that, um, I was really sad when my grandmother died because my grandmother was my whole world. She teach me to sew at such a tender age. I remember even when she's cooking, she used to put me on a stool, and if she put in the salt in the pot, she put it on the spoon. So you put it in the pot and stir, and she stand up beside me, and she would come back and she would if she put in little black pepper, she don't do it in a, she put the amount on the spoon and I stir it into the pot. When the rice to do, I pick the rice. I don't see much people picking rice these days, but she used to spread it out on the waiter, and you picture if you find anything in the rice, then wash the rice, and you put in the rice in the pot, and she try to tell you how to use judgment and how to get the rice nice and fluffy. And I missed her a whole lot, and I think for me the worst thing for me was that my grandmother died when I was so young. Anyway, back to being at my granduncle's house the first day. It was all good. Pack up my little dustbin in a suitcase, those wooden looking kind of suitcase I had. And Shirley biscuit been around a long time. I remember I had a pack of Shirley biscuit in my suitcase. When you open the Shirley biscuit, you have probably like 3 or 4, probably about 4 or 6 packs, little packs in it. And so it was in my suitcase. Anyway, they show me where I'm going to sleep. And for the rest of the evening, I was in the kitchen with my grand aunt, like, helping out in the kitchen, putting stuff in the fridge, etc. It felt okay and nice. Then, the second day, I remember she woke me up real early and tell me to go with her because the yard is a big yard. So I have to walk up to the top of the yard where another house is where there's a cherry tree. And she said I'll climb on it and see if I can help her pick some cherry because she's going to make some cherry juice. And she make cherry juice, and for breakfast that morning it was porridge, which is not a bad thing. I always love my porridge. Until now, I still have to look after my porridge at least 2 to 3 times for the week. I love my porridge. Anyway, that was the second day. I remember the third day she gave me a little stool and said that I must sit at the kitchen doorway. That is my little spot in the evenings. And any little thing she wants in the kitchen, she reach out to take out the cupboard or so on. I'll be near enough for her to call me. And then I noticed as time goes on, things get a bit
part of nature that though.
different. Now, when I say as time goes on, I don't mean months. By the end of that week, I remember the Saturday morning she got up and she had all of my uncle's socks in bleach water soaking. So she give me a little scrubbing board and a brush and put me around the washroom and tell me I must make sure I wash the socks and so on and thing. It was a bit tedious because as a child that is about like 6-7 year old, it's a lot. I remember every moment with those people, and this was my family. Yes. Anyway, as time goes on, she started giving me heavy sheets to wash. She have them soak in water. She give me a washing board, so all I had to do was have to lift them, just slide them across the board and rub them with the brush, and then she would come and do a little proof wash and get them on the line. So I find out that every morning I was getting up and there's a sheet soaking, there's heavy sheets to wash, or some bathroom mat or some rug soaking for me to wash. And then about the second week I noticed when she cooked Sunday dinner is that she took out a spoon of rice and peas and scatter it on the plate. You could literally look through the rice and look on the glass plate beneath it. And she always boils something like a piece of pumpkin or a piece of yam and put beside it. And when she give you the little piece of meat, she chop it up and give you. Okay, that's fine. Eat that. Come Monday, no, okay, no, Sunday, Monday. Sunday, Monday. You get a little more. Come Tuesday, what I noticed she started, because on the Monday she would look after some fresh food from my uncle, because he don't really into the Sunday Monday. Worst of his rice and peas, not into a lot of rice. So whatever little food she look after for him, boil yam or stew little pork or chicken or whatever she do, when little leave in the fridge, I would eat it the next day. So when she cook fresh food the day after, I would get the stale food that cooked the day before, the day after food, and then it continued down the line like I am the person that is doing the cleanup of the old food. I see she would have food in the fridge until those little blue things start growing them, and she would sit with a knife and peel it off, and either she fry it or she boil it over in water, and that would be my dinner, and the fresh food would be for she and uncle. I was thinking like, no, this can't be. After that first day of all that fanciness, so on, and it continued like that. And we used to get like loads of stuff from abroad, because of course my family abroad, my parents and grandfather abroad would be sending down money. You would not believe that. And we're sending down barrel with stuff. Now when the barrel comes, I'm never allowed to look in it. And by the time I get the two little piece of clothes them to wear, I was already growing them out. That's how she did it. Even if chocolates are so come into the barrel, what she would do is make sure that when them get stale and like them going a bit funny, she give you them to eat. But remember saying on a choice and go choosing anything for eating. So when you get it, you just yam it up and just think it's okay. Even cheese buyer in the fridge and butter. The only time I get to taste a bit of cheese is unless you see those little blue things start growing on it, and she peel them off and then she start chop them up in a one dish and give a piece of bread. And I can't remember, apart from the first day when I went there, eating a fresh slice of bread. It's always like, the bread get tough up a little and so on. She dab a little butter upon it and she give it to you. Now when I started to just get me into a primary school nearby, and I had to walk to school early in the morning, but not only that, school starts at 8 o'clock and I have to reach school 7:45 because devotion. And she would get me up from after 5 and have me raking up the yard, because it's a big yard space. I should have the big house that we live in to the front. I have another big house to the back. So what happened is that we have a big ackee tree. We come like it out about 150-year-old. Real strong, tough ackee tree, but it bear a lot. Plus cherry tree and so on. And so what you would do is give me the rake and send me up there to rake up all the leaves there and eat them up, and then come in and get ready to go to school. And you always get like this bush tea, piece of tough bread, and you get a little butter on it, if you're lucky, and so on. Then when I go to school, and after, even though she give me all those things to do, if 5 minutes to 8 catch me running out and I running a bit late, I get a beating going through the door. Alright. When I reach school and if I'm late, there was this little girl that used to live near us, used to be like the watchman for me at school, and she would say, oh, she reached late this morning. I already get a beating leaving outside late, so obviously they must know me read late, and they come back, they would punish me all 1 ear and 1 foot. But I didn't read, and I get licks across my shoulder already for that, And anyway, your lunch time is like 1 hour, and I had to go home for lunch, and then try to get back to school before school closed. Sometimes I reach there, and it's like some porridge hotting up or some stale food from when she's scraping off and frying and giving you for lunch, etc. And by the time she finishes, she know you have to reach back in time. So by the time half a chop and swallow, you can't even sometimes get to eat anything, because by that time it's time to run, go back up the road to reach into school before the bell ring and the gate close on you, because remember I go home for lunch. It was really hurtful to know, say, me have my parents abroad sending money and stuff, and this is how they treat you. Now, you see, when you come on a Saturday, Lord Jimmy is a full-blown helper and so on. The time I was about like 8, I was a full-blown helper. I had to clean down the bathroom, wash the mats, and would you know, she would go in there with a flashlight checking every tile. If I go through, the groove of the tile, a little white air between the tile where the tile is set in, and make sure that it rub and clean. She put me back in there with a brush or a toothbrush and tell me rub, make sure so it was clean and everything. And she check everything, clean around the bathroom, the toilets, and so I make sure it clean. Then when I do that, I have to make sure I dust all the furniture in the house, and you have to make sure that you dust them in such a way that everything's set back in place, or you're going to get a beating for not setting them the proper way they are supposed to be set. Then she tell you to give you the rooms to sweep out and wipe out. And then what happened if she go in the room and she move anything and she use her finger and go and test if any dust, if it sweep that the corners or so on, or by chance you cobweb but you never cobweb down, anywhere you're sweeping you're supposed to cobweb, so you're supposed to look up and make sure you cobweb all the areas. So if at the time I did not look up and make sure everything is cobweb, I'm going to get a beating for that, and then go do it. And then you go out on the veranda and you wipe down all the chairs, and it's like wooden and plastic chairs. You wipe down all the chairs and the chair angles and the grill. Alright, you see the grill now? It's the metal grill. What happened is that it have these little curves like design and so on. So you have to take soap and water and wipe through them, especially where you open and close the grill, the whole of the front there. You have to wipe them down. I swear they just create these work just to enslave me, I swear. Clean down and wipe down those things. So I say when I get up in the morning and I am up from about to 6 o'clock, because that's their time of waking up, and I'm cleaning down the place. Sometimes when 6 o'clock come in the night, I still can't finish, and then they cuss and they beat me that I'm not moving fast enough, And then come Sunday morning, you have to go to mass, Catholic church we go to, and they bust your ass to get up and get ready and leave on time. Mass start like 8 o'clock, and by 11 o'clock roughly you come home. And if you stay, I used to love stay for Sunday school because only the time I get to mingle with any other youths, other children my age group. So by 12 o'clock really, that's the only time I get there with timing. By 12 o'clock really though, I have to be home. As soon as I reach home and take off my clothes, she land me with finishing, wiping and polishing down this, take out all the glassware out of the cabinet at one section she have there for you. She constantly have you working. And the funny thing about it, you see, if cake or like my uncle now, him used to love buy him jerk pork and come in. But more time when he come in on a Friday night with the jerk pork, he's a bit junk. So what I always try to screech out of my bed and come teeth out piece of the jerk pork and eat, because the only time you got taste piece of fresh meat, because she won't really be up and he won't really be conscious enough to know so you take out any and so on. And then in the morning, whatever leaf can always buy a lot. It's a pork man, jerk pork and loving pepper. In the morning she will use the rest and make like pork boiled yam and banana and dumpling and so on. And then I wouldn't get any of that for them to eat. And then she would look after some hog porridge, because them porridge them man was like, you taste every grain of the cornmeal, it not even boil good in it. And the thing about it is that sometimes I want to talk to my granduncle to tell him that the treatment is like really harsh, and it's even worse when he's not there. When he's there, he's not even paying attention and doing anything about anything. It's like he don't seem to see what is going on. You should even have cake like Christmas cake. It's a Christmas day. Yeah man, you get a little piece and say after that, you see all the cakes that is there is when the cake is spoiling or touch. Then you see she start pare it off and give me to eat. And that is why sometimes when I hear about child abuse and things that children go through, I not ask Christ. I know all of them something there where children go through. The good thing is that some of these children get sexually abused as well. I'm so glad I didn't fall into that situation. But I'm telling you, there's no day past where I wasn't beaten. And when she tired of beating me, she put me outside to kneel down on a grater for no good reason. I could be coming from school and she look at my uniform and the pleat don't look perfectly neat, and the clothes are never iron it proper neat in the first place. And I have to kneel down outside and grater. She put me to stand up in the yard, hold 1 ear and 1 foot, and you see all those people passing, going up the road and coming down. I remember there was this lady that lived next door, and she said to her, boy, you have to take time with her, you know, you can't so rough with her, you know. Remember, said children grow up, you know. Remember, children grow up, and I always remember that lady, I remember that. And so on, and a lot of people don't seem to realize that children grow up. And I'm telling you, it was like really dreadful. And then I started to get what you call it now, upset and angry about how I'm going to weather being with these people. And I decided that they have a storeroom at the top where they store stuff into. And sometimes you have some guys that live at the next door that smoke cigarette around the corner. So what I did, I went up there, and they have a little draping hang to the front. So what I did, I just dodge and go up there and light the curtain of fire to burn down the storage room, and come back and sit down. So the neighbor saw the smoke very quickly. It was just on the drapings. It never spread anywhere. I run, come and call out and so on. So them run go up there and throw water on it, etc. and so on. And then instantly it was figured out that I was the one that do it. But I had nowhere to express how I was feeling and the treatment. And I thought doing something like vicious like that would help me get my voice heard, you know. Anyway, they said, listen to me and pack my bungalow, call my parents abroad, and said to them, so they can't keep me no longer. So on, come and try to burn down the place, etc. So my granddad said, he has a friend and just take me there since they can't keep me any longer. So they packed me up with ignorance and took me there. When I went there to that lady asked what is going on. I couldn't tell her anything because you can't really trust them times there. You can't really trust adults because you just think they are going to go back and say something, you know. So I said, I don't know. And I was crying and I said, I'm asking the Lord to change me and I'm asking, I'm going to be good. And I'm saying all this, you know, because I was frightened over the whole everything. And I don't know if it's out of frying pan into fire. Anyway, this lady was an absolute stranger. And I remember when I went there the morning, she looked after callaloo and saltfish for breakfast and she put everything on the table. And then she looked after, and then she had fritters and some everything she put on the table. And then we went around the table with her family. And I'm thinking, I'm sitting down there after they finished saying grace, and I'm saying to myself now, okay, I'm not going to get anything to eat. Then the lady turned to me and said, help yourself. You can't take the best part of the food. Enough is there. You can't eat everything, can you? I said, no. She said, let's take out what you want. Everything is on the table. And I take out little of everything that is there and I ate. And then when I finished, I was in the kitchen trying to wash up all the dishes and that. And she said, what you doing? And she took everything from all the plates and things from me and she put them in the dishwasher. And she said, no man, you can't go and see where your stuff are in the room upstairs and just easy. And I was like real nervous, like what is this? Because I get used to the bad treatment from my grand aunt and grand uncle that I was like, I need to be skeptical what is happening. Anyway, I remember I went around the washroom to wash my sneakers, and when I went around there was a mat in the tub soaking. So I'm around there say I'm going to wash the mat and put it on the line, and the lady come around there and said, what you doing? No, don't do that. No. And she wash it out herself and put it on the line. And I just realized, and living with those people changed my life. Even those people, even if the gardener come, these people had money, and even if the gardener came and they were giving the gardener anything to eat, is out of the glass cup, the glass plate, they sit on the patio and eat. No problem. When I was with my grand uncle and his grand aunt, what they did is that they give them one girl gardener tea in a condensed can, you know, so that can cool down. And give him in a paper plate and those things. And it's such a different way of living. I remember this lady, she was not a family member. And I've grown up to realize as I grow older, and even after living back with my mom, and so when my mom came back home, I realized that family is just about scraping what they can get. They're not reliable. You understand? And I know not all families are the same, but I see even my grandmother's house, her own brother was trying to or got buyer and forge the title and everything, trying to sell all the house without even my grandfather knowing, and all those things. I don't have good experience to talk about family at all. There's just so much stories, and I realize that even when I look at the young lady, that story that made headline in Jamaica, where this young lady, her own sister and nieces planned on killing her, Tamara Geddes. It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. It's just that it was found out quickly that this was the case. What happened if it was done so well that there's nobody came forward, no guilty conscience spoke or anything? Nobody would know. His family. These things been happening a long time. I've seen and known things happen in my family that is just horrendous. I'm telling you, you want to see when there's dead left, they will kill you for a plate or a Chinaware set. That's just how they are, and it is really bad. You think of Tamara Geddes right in front of her daughter. They killed her. How can these people live with themselves knowing that they did something like this? That's why even when I grow up and have my own family, my own children, I never ever make any of my 3 children go to no family yard unless I am there or their father is there. Them no go no family yard go spend no holiday, kind of how hurtful and devious they can be. They don't go spend no weekend. Them no go spend no day. Them no nothing at all like that. You see, if me is there or them father is there, that's how it go. Me not trust none of them with my children, because I know I even have other family members that gone through worse with our family. I was lucky, and look what I went through. So at the end of the day, what I consider my family is my kids. Me consider my family. When me know say me have to dead no matter what, teeth and nail and so on, you understand? But I don't dig the extended family thing, because I realize everybody, most is in it for how it benefit them. So, and I find that I have friends that are not family that is so awesome, so reliable, so lovely. And you think like, boy, you really can't choose a family, can you? You understand? So it makes you really think and so on. Friends are family. And not kidding you though, friends can be devious. But remember, your family, you're not expecting them to be devious as they are. So I would say, watch your family, watch your friends, but watch your family even closer. Yeah? So, just a thought I had and experiences that I've had. I could elaborate even more and loads of stuff I could say, but I guess that would take hours. So we'll leave some for next time. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.